EU summit. Macron's European integration agenda threatens to split bloc this week. The French president's insistence on further integrating the bloc could even divide members of the tightly knit Visegrad Group, with the four eastern nations, Poland, Hungary, the Czech Republic and Slovakia, facing their own frustrations if the changes come in. The agenda for 2018 to 2019, to be put forward by European Council President Donald Tusk tomorrow, is based around Emmanuel Macron's ideas. They include closer military cooperation, tightening of the eurozone, imposing more rigid screening of foreign investments and tougher anti-dumping duties. Rules on workers posted outside their home country are set to be overhauled, and they also want to create a new system of political conventions and transnational lists in European elections. Leaders across the bloc are being encouraged to get behind the reforms. However, not every nation is happy with the plans. Others simply have an issue with the Frenchmen, as they believe Germany, which is the EU's largest economy, is the bloc's natural leader. In turn, countries which have been aligned with Germany and Angela Merkel for many years are extremely concerned by the recent German election result, with the far-right party Alternative for Germany, after entering the Bundestag for the first time since the Second World War. Peter Szijjártó, Hungary's foreign minister, previously said his country, and the whole region, views Germany as much more important than France. Andrej Babi, the frontrunner in the Czech general election this Saturday, was more cutting and said Mr. Macron should focus on reforming France before trying to change the EU. He warned pushing for deeper integration could lead to more members leaving the bloc after the UK. While most in the Visegrad Group, who all joined the EU in 2004, see Germany as the most integral nation in Europe, the new prospect of a three-way German coalition, which is yet to be formed, is also not in their best interests. Milan Nye, senior fellow at the Robert Bosch Center for Central and Eastern Europe, said, "What I hear in Berlin is not encouraging for the current Polish and Hungarian ruling parties. A prospective Jamaica coalition could be a tougher partner to the Central European governments than the Grand Coalition used to be. Both the Greens and FDP will be more outspoken when it comes to any disrespect of EU laws and values, including media freedoms, human rights and democracy." Some V4 leaders and governments might be naive to think that they can continue to rely on Berlin while dismissing the new wind for the EU future blowing from Paris. If they are suspicious about the new wave of French protectionism creeping into EU policies on the back of the President Macron's enthusiasm for Europe, they better be busy coordinating with the Dutch and Nordics about defending the rules of the single market. Yet, there are few signs from Warsaw and Budapest about such considerations. Mr. Nye added Poland and Hungary are very likely to lose even more influence in the EU by being the main opponents of the French-driven reform agenda. However, Slovakia, which is part of the eurozone, and the Czech Republic, which remains more practical than emotional about European attachments, could fare better, Mr. Nye said. He added, because of Slovakia's eurozone membership and constructive approach to President Macron's initiative, as well as the Czechs' pragmatism, which might to some extent continue under Babis, coupled with their strong bilateral relations with Berlin and Paris, both countries will become more influential in the post-Brexit EU than their Visegrad neighbors. After the French and German elections, Central Europe continues to evolve into a region where different EU vectors and integration speeds are converging.